Burn Bootcamp Nation, what's going on? Welcome to the Burn Bootcamp Podcast. It's DK, your host, and I am pumped up to be here. Listen, today I wanted to experience share with you. I am really dialed in, really focused on my own nutrition right now. I'm always in a kind of even-keeled place with it. I never go crazy, right? But, my parents out there, you guys will attest to this. You start having a few kids. You have a 7, a 5, and a 3-year-old now. Well, Ryan actually turns 3 this week. Your nutrition habits are impacted. Let's just say that. And, some of my kids' food has crept into my diet, and crept in being the appropriate word, meaning a slow, methodical, venomous approach to infiltrating my diet. And it's not even bad food. We feed our kids really good food. It's just I've got granola bars at the house that are, good, healthy, organically based granola bars. Kids, they love them. Got some Lar bars at the house. We got some Burn bars, obviously, at the house now. Kids are just, their Burn bars, they go wild for their Burn bars, right? And so, you eat too much of anything and you're going to get a little body fat, okay? You're going to get a little fluffy. And so, not that, I let it get into my mental state, but I don't like to get above really like 15% body fat. And I like to get down to like 7 or 6, but not stay there. And I want to live at like 10. So I'm going to let you into my current strategy. What I'm doing right now is I am eating about 2,600 calories a day. All right, I'm burning about 2,800 calories, maybe 3,000 calories on some days. And I'm working out 5 to 6 times a week, depending on how my left knee feels. I would be working out 6 times a week if it's a little sore right now. So 5 or 6 times a week, I'm taking an extra day off here and there. And on those days, I'm not changing anything about my nutrition. I'm just continuing to do the same things. All I've really done is 2 things. I've taken any grain away, all right? And any sugar. So any sugar, any grain. And so I've never been a big soda drinker. I've never been an iced tea drinker. I really like my water. I really like my Replenish. And if I do need a little something, I've been known to have like a Diet Coke here and there. That's usually on like a vacation. But for the most part, my liquid's good, okay? My liquid's good. It's the snacking at night. It's the, you get some treats on a Friday, whatever, they hang over till a Saturday and you didn't throw them away and you just like cleaned off the rest of the, other pan of brownies the next day or whatever it was. Usually I'm like 6 days really super clean. I'll wake up, eat a good breakfast. I don't fast a lot. I tried it. It's just hard. I like to eat. I have a lot of, mental energy that I have to expend in like the first few hours of the day. And I don't know, whenever I do fast, I've tried it many, many times in many different ways, but I don't really do it all too much. I'll do it on the road sometimes if there's not a lot of good options. I'd rather fast than, I'd rather fast than eat something bad. So for me, it's been about just eliminating grain, just eliminating sugar, and not changing much else. So people have this misconception, well, this is based on my observations. People have this misconception that they have to do way more than they actually have to do in terms of changing their habits in order to achieve the results that they want to achieve. For me, it's just eliminating some granola bars, just eliminating, that extra handful of like crackers, whatever it is at night I'm snacking on, 2 Lar bars. Been known to heat up 3 Burn bars at a time and just in the middle of the night, like just eliminating those things. That's all I needed to do in order to get to where I wanted to go. So my goal is to go down to 6 and then I'm going to live at 10. And so guys, that's it. Like I had this story one time in Burlington, North Carolina. I was doing a visit and I had a trainer there who I was helping. And the trainer, he was new to focus meetings, and focus meetings is really where we're setting our intentions around the things that are important to us, identifying gaps. We all know that the growth is in the gap. We identify the gap, we can solve the gap, and we grow, all right? So I'm sitting in with a focus meeting with the lens of kind of trying to help the trainer on as well as help the member. And so our trainer goes, right in at like this laundry list of things, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, do like 10 to-dos. And this woman is brand new. She's like, it's like her second day at camp, her first focus meeting. She's sitting there with like deer in the headlight eyes. Like overwhelmed at like, she didn't even understand 6 of the 10 things he was saying. He was like regurgitating his NASM certification back onto this woman, and it was all pure intent. He had a good intent. He just wasn't executing for her properly, because what he should have done and he was new, so I was helping him and I was giving him grace. So I jumped in and I said, hey, do you mind if I just give you some help here? And I asked her, hey, do you mind if I kind of intervene and help us get to a solve? It seems like you're a little overwhelmed here, aren't you, from this focus meeting that, it seems like there was a lot dumped on you in like a couple minutes there. And like, I know you're trying to be helpful, right? Of course you are. That's what we do. We're about impact, and we want to help people grow. We want to help identify their gaps. That's what focus meetings are about. Can I give you guys one piece of advice? And they're like, sure. It's like one small win. One small win. Just start with one thing. Start with one simple, easy to execute, no-brainer, confidence building, momentum building, one little element, even an element of an element, even a thing of a thing of a thing, right? Like, don't recommend just eliminate fast food. Do you know what it sounds like to somebody who eats fast food twice a day, every day, to eliminate fast food? That sounds like the worst thing ever. That sounds terrible. It sounds miserable. In fact, I don't want to even do that yet. Like, I didn't come here for you to tell me to eliminate fast food. How the hell am I supposed to do that? I live off it. I'm on the road all the time. I'm at Chick-fil-A here, Chick-fil-A there, McDonald's here, McDonald's there. I'm lost. You lost me. Complexity is the enemy of execution. It's overwhelming. Even that one thing. So even we get small wins misinterpreted. Small wins aren't just one thing. It can even be a one thing of a one thing. So instead of just saying, hey, eliminate fast food to somebody who is eating fast food a couple times a day, you must say something like, if you were to tell, you have to ask a question. You say, if you were to tell me one thing that you could easily do, that you were easily and willing to incorporate into your everyday life, what might that be? And they'll tell you something. They might even say, I'll eliminate fast food. And then your job is to say, great, you're willing to eliminate fast food? Okay, I'm not even going to make it that complex for you. Actually, what I'm going to do is encourage you to, how many times you go into fast food every week? Oh, 3. I'm going to encourage you to keep going 3 times. What do you get when you go there? You get a sandwich. Okay, great. So what I'm going to encourage you to do is just take the 2 buns? Okay, just take 1/2 of one side off. Just do that. Do you think that could be something, if you're willing to eliminate fast food, don't you think that that would be something that you could easily do and obtain on an everyday basis? Like, no problem. You wouldn't even like think twice about it. You just rip the bun in half, put it into a ball, throw it into the bag, and now you have 100 less calories or 70 less calories on that meal. That'd be something you're willing to do. Right? And I kind of did that with them and did this little mock setting. And it was incredible what happened. So the trainer was thankful. The member was thankful. She's like, yeah, I could totally do that. She went from like overwhelmed, like looking around the room, like she was checking to see if other people were as overwhelmed as she was. That's how insecure she was about the 10 things that this trainer was kind of just putting on her plate. But when we broke it down and when we asked her a question and framed it in, what we did is we anchored her into a yes. Call it anchor the yes. I was like, you can do this thing, yes? Right? And she's like, yes, of course I can do that. I anchored her high and then make something even more attainable that's 3 times more attainable than the thing she already said yes to make it a no-brainer. And that's the formula. Okay, this member she did it, took it away. I asked the trainer, can you please make me send me a text message in 90 days from now and tell me how this went? And he did. And oftentimes people don't follow the advice, but in this particular example, they followed the advice to a T, I think in part because it was small enough and easy enough to chew on that she could actually do it. She showed up to camp. Now, granted, she was just starting her journey, and when you start your journey in fitness, you're going to lose some water weight. You're going to have an increased exponential results in the first 30 days as you will, down the line. And so there's some other factors, but she also lost 13 pounds. Okay, and this woman had about 65 pounds of unneeded, dangerous, toxic body fat that she needed to lose. Like, body positivity is not about like looking at someone that has a lot of body fat that is dangerous and is toxic, scientifically, empirically proven to be, and to say that's okay unless they feel like that is their blueprint and that is their own destiny, and they are okay knowing that it's dangerous and they're okay knowing that it's not healthy for them. If they know and that's still their blueprint for life, like, do you. That's your own prerogative. But I will tell you that it's dangerous and it's toxic, and there's no arguing that because it's a fact. And I will offer you up solutions to feel even better than you would do today. And so this is the approach that I take, in terms of like getting people to actually execute. Like, executing is everything. And one small win at a time is the way to do that. It's the blueprint to do that. It works in my life. It works in your life. It worked in her life. I mean, I should do a checkup and see where they're at now. But it was just a great story that I think can highlight the importance of, no matter what realm of life we're talking about, mind, body, emotion, spirit, intimate relationships, work, time, money, no matter what it is, you can take the ideology of one small win and you can use that as a concept that you layer over those different areas, and with a little bit different definition depending on which areas of your life are more further along, more progressed than the other areas, and you can start to take one small win serious and start to take all 7 of those areas that I just mentioned and start to bring them all up together. And in this case, it just happened to start with nutrition, and that's what I'm doing with my nutrition. That's it. Just one small win. That's it, you guys. I'm just stopping the 10:30 p.m. to 12:30 a.m. eating, that 2 hours of snacking in there, on my way down to 7% body fat. That will take about 90 days to do that. Every other variable nutritionally is the same. I'm eating my watermelon if I'm really feeling like binging, or my grapes if I'm feeling like binging. I've always been a big fan of just smash fruit when you're hungry. You guys have heard me talk a lot about that. You can eat as much as you want, and I guarantee you're going to continue to progress in your results, especially if you're doing demanding training. You're putting your body through rigorous, intense, demanding, difficult workouts that are going to require that nourishment to be utilized. And continuing to eat bison and beef and chicken and protein, 2 protein shakes every day. I'll do 1 vanilla and chocolate plant protein afterburn, and I'll mix 1 scoop of each in there, so it's 40 grams there, and then 1 of whey, and so I'll do vanilla and chocolate there. That's another 46 grams. And so there's 86 grams there. I'll have a burn bar every day. There's another 17 grams. I'll have 6 ounces of chicken, probably. It's usually like I'll have 2 servings, 6 ounces of chicken, or 2 servings, 6 ounces of bison, or whatever protein that Morgan and I cooked up, or sometimes Casey, our nanny, helps us whip up some stuff. I will leave that in the fridge with some 1 cup of rice, and I'll combine the 2 things in the microwave, have that twice a day. And usually my breakfast is a big bowl of oatmeal. It's probably like 1.5 cups. I put a lot of brown sugar in it just because I like brown sugar, and I work out hard, and I'm not eating garbage 6 days a week, so I'm not like compounding the effect of that. That's like the only sugar, that and fructose from the fruit that I'm eating. Let's see, eggs alongside the oatmeal, so brown sugar and oatmeal, and then I'll eat a big thing of eggs. Sometimes I'll do egg whites. I'm not imprisoning myself. If I'm eating eggs, to me that's like 8 grams of protein, like sometimes 5 if they're smaller eggs, but 8 grams of protein for every egg. I'm eating at least 5 of those. And, oftentimes it's just straight up scrambled eggs. And so you start to add all this up, and I'm eating protein at every meal. And you add all this stuff up, and you get to that 2,600 calories, 2,800 calories even. And then you eliminate the 600 calories that I eat unconsciously in the middle of the night when I would get up. Just eliminating that for me was a small enough win in my life, in my journey, a bite-sized enough thing where, like, hey, what I did is I just put a whole mess of grapes or a whole mess of watermelon right in front of me going to bed with a protein shake, right? Just make my stomach feel full with the liquid and with the volume of fruit that I'm putting into my body. And I'm telling you, like in the last, I've been doing this now. I'm on this journey because, well, I probably shouldn't say anything publicly yet. We've got a really big project happening right now that your boy's going to have to be looking as sharp as I can look. And for me, I'm always dangerously close. And, for me, it's not a vain thing. It's not I'm to the point in my life where, like, I'm going to take my shirt off no matter what I look like outside on the beach, and I'm going to be proud of my body. I'm strong. I'm confident. If I got a little extra body fat here and there, so be it. Pizza's really good. Having a beer every once in a while is really good. So it's like, but then there's times for me where it's like, okay, I got a project. You need to be dangerously close enough at any point in time to give yourself a timeline, an 6 to 8 week timeline that puts some accountability in front of you so that you can remind yourself how disciplined you are, right? And discipline is this thing where a lot of times when you get it in one of those 7 areas of life, whether it be your body or, be your nourishment or be your career or your money or your spirituality, whatever it is, like you get to a point where even when you're growing, happiness is growth, right? So even when you're growing and you're achieving, you're never going to be happy or satisfied. You can be satisfied with where you're at, but not happy, right? And you're going to have to create another gap or another level for you to go after. And so it's always good to have these time-based, 2-week, 4-week, 6-week, 8-week things that are in your back pocket to motivate you, but not to kickstart or jumpstart your motivation. Like I'm talking about once you've mastered the game, once you've been eating healthily for 10 years and your body is full of energy, it's full of vitality, you are primarily living out of positive emotion. You are primarily serving from a place of gratitude and contribution to the world, then set material goals that help you do that better, right? That's a business sense. If you're in a fitness sense or a nutrition sense, hey, you're nourishing your body for 15 years. Hey, you're shredded as can be. Like you look amazing. Everybody tells you you look amazing, but then you look in the mirror and you're like, I don't feel amazing. Well, that's probably because you already had the vision to be this person that everybody looked at and said, oh my goodness, I want to be just like you. You're such an inspiration. Thank you for showing me how you've done this journey. But then you stop progressing. So you get to this place where you no longer are purpose driven. You've already reached the goal. It's like your temperature is back to room temperature. You're no longer hot on the trail of something. You no longer have that trailblazer attitude where you're going to get up and get after it no matter what, because you forgot that you're still a human being. And even though that you've achieved at a high level, it's not about what you're achieving that's important, that creates happiness. It's about who you're becoming as you're achieving, right? It's not about what you're achieving. It's about who you are becoming while you're achieving. And that's a very important thing to remember, and why I'm so passionate about just helping people develop personally, helping them do the same things that I had to do. I'm just the kid from the gutter, you guys. I had to do all this stuff myself, learn how to eat, learn how to eat, right? Learn how to do business, figure out how to build my own body so that I could get out of the place that I was in and go pursue my baseball career, figure out how to gain 25 pounds of muscle in 2 years naturally by eating well and lifting the right way. And so all the things that I share with you are shared experiences from my life, and I hope this little insight to my current nutrition habits right now and the few tangents I took on the way there were helpful for you to hear. That's why we make these videos. That's why we do the podcast, because we want to make sure that we're using the experiences that we have to share them back with you to better your life. So thanks for being here. You could be anywhere else in the world, but you're here with us. And for that, we're forever grateful. Keep moving. 2 claps on 2, 1, 2.